Hello, I'm Raindrop Tom on behalf of Raindrop Agency, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a bright, clean, colorful product video. And it might look something like this. Before we dive in, I want to let you know the first half of this video is going to cover what you need to make this shot from scratch, as if you were starting from zero. However, if you're just ready to go and more interested in the lighting setup, I have a breakdown of that later in the video, and I marked it with chapters, so you can jump ahead there if you want. Alright, the first thing you're going to need is a backdrop. So for me, I'm using a paper roll by Savage Paper. It costs about $50. Paper rolls are probably the most affordable backdrop that you can get that's going to give you the ability to give a seamless backdrop with no visible line for your horizon. It'll give you that nice infinite look if you want that. For me, I don't need that today, so I am actually using a table. And that brings me to my next point. You're going to probably want a surface for your product to be on. I got this table at Home Depot. It's made by Husky, and it costs about $300. I really like this table for my shoots because it's got adjustable height, so I can bring it up and down and get it to the perfect height that I need. The next thing you're going to need is props. So for me, all I need is a bowl. I'm just going to be putting our product into this, and I'm going to put this little piece of tape down. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. And this is going to give me a nice consistent look across all the different products I'm shooting today. And that brings me to the next point. You're going to need a product. Today we're shooting dog food by Life's Abundance. Smells like dog food. All right, let's talk lighting. Over to my left, I have the Amaran 200X. It's punching through half soft frost diffusion, and then it's giving me a nice front look. You can see it on the front of this bowl here. And then behind me, I have the Aputure 60X, and it's kind of a nice spotlight, and I've got it warmed up so it's giving kind of an early morning glow. You can see it scraping across the tabletop here. See it on my arm. That's going to make it feel like it's a bright early sunny morning, and as the kibble falls into the bowl, it's going to really kind of glisten and make those pieces of kibble stand out that much more. And then behind me I have the Amaran T4C. It's kind of a long tube light, and that one's going to just be lighting the backdrop, and it's going to give the backdrop a bit of a glow effect so that the product's really kind of highlighted here, and then it's going to sort of fall off to the edges so that it gets a little darker at the edges. Backdrop, surface, props, lighting, camera. So for the camera, we're going to be shooting on the Blackmagic 6K full frame. And then on the front of that, we're going to have a DZO Film 40mm Vespid Prime. We're going to be shooting in 120 frames per second. On this particular camera, you have to do that in HD. You can't go higher like 4K or 6K. One more thing to note, on the 120 frame per second, you're going to want to adjust your shutter speed or your shutter angle in our case. So essentially what you're going to be doing is allowing less motion blur to be happening. So I want those pieces of kibble to be a little more crisp as they're falling. If I don't adjust my shutter speed to the right setting, it's going to be a little bit more of a blurry mess as they're falling out, and I don't want that. We had about 83 products that we had to shoot. Not all of them were dog food, but a lot of them were. And I had already shot one of these in the studio, and we kind of ran out of time on the day of, so I said, you know what, I can recreate this at home. I know what to do. Just looking at a reference image here. So I'm trying to copy that same look so that it'll blend in with the other shots that I got. Now I'm gonna sit back here and adjust some of the lights. You know what? Let's do a quick tour of the lights just so you can see. I'm doing what's called a book light. This is a really common technique to get a very soft light to make it appear that there's a big window here rather than a direct light. You know, maybe the sun's over here and it's not coming straight in the window, but we're still getting a lot of that natural light coming in. And so to get that effect, what we're gonna do is, instead of aiming this light right at where I'm sitting, we're gonna take this light and bounce it off of this. So this is made by Modern Studio Equipment, and it's awesome because on one side it's black, so it's like a negative fill or a flag. And then on the other side, it's this white ultra bounce kind of fabric or material. And I also love that you can flop it out like this. So this is kind of acting as like a flag. So this light is actually really controlled. It's not just spilling out everywhere back here. This is kind of blocking it. So it's really just coming through, bouncing off of there, and then
passing through this and then landing right in this zone. Pay no attention to that light. I turned it very high for this shot, but I'm going to turn it down in a second here. But I just want to give you guys an idea of what this light over here is doing and the way I'm getting it to look the way it's looking. If I were to just point this light directly at the bull and the kibble, it would look very harsh, the shadows would be very crisp and hard is what you would call it. So it'd be a hard light, but this is making it into a soft light. All right, so now we got to rig this light up. The thing about this is it's a really hard spotlight and it's really giving us that back edge that we want. The only problem is I want to use these barn doors here so that it won't make kind of like a glare on the table. And it's gonna cut that little edge off that we want. So I'm just gonna mess around with it, get it kind of perfectly set up. But that's what these barn doors do, and really make it so you can control exactly what that beam is doing. So there's probably better ways to do this, but right now I'm just gonna put this light right on this chair. The only problem is it's actually so long that it's lighting part of the paper that I don't want. So we gotta cover that up. I've got this wonderful quilt that my mother made, and it comes in handy for all sorts of things. And right now, it's basically blocking our light for us. Shout out to my mom for making excellent quality quilts at a fair price, also known as free of charge. And I want to get a little bit of the bag in so we know it's the right kibble. I'll probably prime it a little bit so it's right at the edge. Bit of an art to this. Okay. Yep, that looks pretty good. And we'll grab it from the top over here, and the bottom right here. And we're gonna get the perfect kibble pour. Here we go. Lost a few of them, but I think I got what I need in there. I'm gonna watch it back just to make sure.
Okay, so I ended up reframing my shot so I could see more of that bag, and I turned up my key light so the bowl was a little bit brighter, and I ended up masking out that little piece of kibble that's sitting on the table. But overall, I was happy with how this turned out.
And that's it for this video, but wait. I just want to say thank you to my subscribers. Super appreciate you. Want to let you know kind of what's coming. This first wave of content I'm doing, it's going to be a little bit more kind of like this video where it's smaller aspects of commercial production and I'm just breaking certain things down. But I do have some things planned in the future where it's going to be kind of an insider's look into what we do at Raindrop, some of the more exciting, elaborate things we've done. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you are too. And yeah, just want to let you know what's coming and just say thank you for being here.